Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and in this video I want to take a quick look at what my C11 FPGA is doing every 24 hours as far as mining Kaspa. Not looking at the fiat, but looking at the amount of Kaspa we're earning in a 24-hour time frame. Also, obviously, because of the news with the KS3 from Bitmain, a new ASICs, and more ASICs coming out onto Kaspa, that we're kind of getting hit twofold. Not only is there an emission schedule that reduces the block rewards ever so often, but also, obviously, the hash rate's going to increase with this ASICs coming online, or more ASICs coming online, because there are a few already out there, competing with the FPGAs and GPU miners. How are the profits going to look at the end of 2023? So this video is really more to lock it in for this channel, so that way at the end of 2023, I can look back and see what the difference is. Before, I used to be able to hit 2 blocks or 2 Kaspa blocks in a 24-hour time frame. All right, so there's about 466 Kaspa in a 24-hour time frame. I was right at the tail end of about 261, I think, was the previous block reward for Kaspa before it dropped down to 233. But right now we're at 220 is what we're earning per block reward, and I can't solo mine it. Or if I could solo mine it, it'd be only a block, like a couple blocks every week or something like that. So I'm pool mining, and I have an FPGA that does about 4 gigahash at the pool, 4.6 at the miner, but after fees and all that stuff, it comes out to 4. So 4 gigahash. What does that get you right now? Well, unfortunately, while the mining developers, right, the mining devs have improved mining for certain GPU models, updated kernels, all that good stuff, making it more efficient, making it more profitable, it has not been as profitable, right? Everything is in the tank right now. Kaspa is not as high in the charts as it used to be. If you keep up with the monthly most profitable cryptocurrency to mine series that I do every month. But at the end of April, I was making about 100 Kaspa every day, which is this pool's minimum 24-hour payment, or minimum payment period. So every 24 hours, I make about 100, 100, 100. But then as things progress, it started to become every 48 hours, I was hitting 100 Kaspa. And also, because we have to wait for your submitted shares to be counted, and then the pool has to validate and confirm those shares, then you get that payment. If that isn't, if you hit the 100 mark, you're going to get paid out, but you're still going to have like 25, 30 Kaspa in your balance still. But on Hero Miners, it says that I'm making about 80 Kaspa a day, 79. That's a little bit high. It's more like 75, maybe 70 to 75 Kaspa every 24 hours is what this miner is doing. Obviously, the hash rate fluctuates and stuff like that. Don't pay attention to the fiat. Pay attention to the amount of Kaspa I'm earning. And right now it's saying that I'm doing 4.6 gigahash, which is true, but that's at the miner. Really, after a 24-hour time frame, it's 4 gigahash. So that's going to reduce us quite a bit. So I would say safely, we're sitting around 65 to 70 Kaspa every 24 hours right now at time of filming on May 22nd. However, by the time you watch this, it's going to be a completely different ball game. It might be more like 60 to 58 or 60 to 55. Because the emission schedule, not only is that continuing to change, but obviously the network hash rate and difficulty has changed quite a bit since I started. So again, towards the tail end of this emission schedule, where the block reward was 261 is where I started, I was hitting 2 blocks per day, right? Whether it was the 246 and especially the 233, then switched over to Alpha Solo, and now we're at 220 after May 8th. And I don't suspect the ASICs, and yes, the manufacturer is going to release them to their buyers, right? Whoever bought them, but they got to test them for QC and stuff like that. So we're going to see the ASICs start to come online, so they can do all their testing before they ship it out. I suspect around the August one, where the block rewards can be 185, is when we're going to start seeing those hash rates start to increase little by little. And not all hash rate is showing on the mining pool stats.stream website. My calculations has about 3 petahash is what I want to say. And you can see here it says 1.13 petahash, but then it says 2.08 here. I have 3. That's what my math is telling me right now on May 22nd, 2023. When these ASICs come online, not only will we be having a smaller block reward, whether it's the 184 and possibly the 174 per block, because some of those people who did buy may not even get them till after September 7th. So obviously the block rewards can be a lot less, but they're still going to be making or hitting a lot of blocks, making a lot of Kaspa, because it does make a decent amount of Kaspa per day. However, what is that going to be valued at? It's a different story. And those mining operations that can afford a $100,000 miner obviously need to cover their overhead, their electric, and all that stuff. So they're going to have to sell, and that's going to increase the selling pressure that Kaspa is currently seeing already. So focusing on the point that I'm trying to make here, which is how much does 4 gigahash get you in a 24-hour period right now at time of filming? It's about 65 to 70 Kaspa a day. Then I want to come back and look in December of 2023 and look at how much Kaspa is this FPGA making per day. Even if it's not profitable, I want to continue to do it and see how much is it doing per day. Now that all these ASICs come online and obviously things have changed, it's going to be a completely different landscape. Most of the GPU miners have already moved on, and most of the FPGA people that have bit streams, or even if they don't have bit streams, they probably moved back to an older bit stream. They have moved away from Kaspa, moved on to other things, trying to accumulate as much as possible if they're not on Kaspa. But once these ASICs come online, I can easily see the network hash rate drastically increasing. So again, this website, just like miningpoolstats.stream, shows about 1.10, 1.15 petahash. I calculate 3 petahash with everything in the loop, because you got to think a lot of these farms are probably direct mining or solo mining, or mining to their solo node. And additionally, there's some other proxies that they probably have set up to make it much more efficient for them to hit those blocks, so that way they can cover their overhead. There's different tricks that you can deploy, which many of my colleagues go over in the space if you're not familiar. But with the ASICs coming online, I think we could see a 12 to 15 exahash on the network. Now, if we go back to miningpoolstats.stream, a couple people tweeted at me, and thank you for tweeting at me and DMing me. But we saw on May 20th, it's around 6 a.m., 9.22 exahash. And that was a huge spike. Where that spike came from, I'm sure somebody already has that information, that intel, that data. I haven't checked it out yet at time of recording. But that's a huge spike, 9.22 exahash. Maybe somebody kicked on a bunch of ASICs just to make sure everything worked, make sure it detected, make sure it was mining at the pool, and then killed it as soon as possible. And so the hash rate diminished. Maybe there was an error in reporting the hash rate. But I think on one screenshot, we even saw YADA hash, which is like super high, like way higher, terahash, petahash, exahash, like way higher. So it'd be interesting to see what the amount is of Kaspa this FPGA at 4 gigahash will earn by the end of 2023, as all of these new ASICs come online, as the emission schedule continues to progress through its roadmap. We'll just have to wait and see. All I could say in leaving you with this is Kaspa's doing its own thing. When it comes to the trading value of Kaspa's doing its own thing. And it probably could be because, obviously, when this news came out of Bitmain releasing the KS3, there was a lot of concern about what it's going to do to Kaspa, right? And if we look at Bitcoin right now, this is on the hourly chart. Bitcoin's kind of moving sideways. In some cases, it's making higher highs compared to recent lows. But Kaspa is just on its own trajectory. It's a lot of selling pressure. And again, some people do have some ASICs, or not the KS3, but different devices, right? Osprey 300, multi-miner, maybe they got an Ice River or what have you. They're selling to cover their overhead, their electric. And so there's more selling pressure than there is buying pressure. And so if Kaspa can reinvigorate the market and push us out of this and get us on a sideways moving trend similar to Bitcoin or above, then we'll just have to wait and see. But right now, there's a lot of selling pressure on Kaspa. ASICs coming into the scene could increase that pressure, but we'll just have to wait and see. It is kind of a good thing that Kaspa and Bitcoin are not correlated, because all the other cryptos follow Bitcoin. So Kaspa going off on its own and doing its own thing could be a positive, but it also could be a negative, right? It's a catch-22. So we'll have to see how Kaspa moves forward. But they're continuing to make waves. They're continuing to do great things as far as the project comes from. But just from a mining perspective, if you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, on equipment like this, you need to sell your rewards to cover your overhead and electric, which is going to increase the sell pressure, pushing the price down. So if they can reinvigorate it and keep that price going in a positive direction or moving along with Bitcoin, I think that'd be a great thing. Or get big enough that if a large or mid-scale operation does sell or dump because they need to cover whatever their costs are, it wouldn't affect you that much. That's why when you see people or operations selling some of their Bitcoin, it doesn't really affect Bitcoin that much because the volume, the trading volume is there, the liquidity is there. So we just have to wait and see. But as far as how much my FPGA is earning per day, it's 70 to 75 Kaspa right now. But what is it going to be at the end of December 2023? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But do me a favor, on the way out, hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date. As well as check out some of the links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. You just have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.